Hello students, myself Suresh VS, welcome back to my channel. Let us continue the lesson, the third level written by Jack Finney. So please take page number 3, paragraph 2. In the last class, we discussed that Charlie, the protagonist, thought about certain possibilities of running a few tunnels under the city and reaching Times Square and Central Park. He also felt that the central station was a kind of escape for so many people, including him. But he did not reveal this fact to his psychiatrist friend. Now let us continue the lesson. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downward, and I thought I was wrong. So he entered into one of the corridors that immediately began angling left. Immediately began, yes, turning left. Angling means turning left. And slanting downward and sloping downward. And he thought that he was moving through a wrong way. But he did not stop walking. He kept on walking. He continued walking. Even though he thought that he was moving through a wrong path, he continued his walking. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I did not pass his hall. All that he could hear there was the sound coming from his foot or his footsteps, and there was no soul visible there. That means he could not meet even a person on the way. Then I heard that sort of hollow roar. Hollow roar means a sound made in an empty space. So after walking a while, he heard sound coming from an empty space. That means open space and people talking. That means ahead of him, what was there? Open space was there and people were talking there. So he understood that ahead of him there was an open space and a few people were talking there. Then I heard that sort of fall. The tunnel turned sharp left. Immediately, the tunnel had a sharp left movement. That means the tunnel turned immediately left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came out on the third level at Grand Central Station. As passing through this tunnel and also coming down through a short flight of stairs, he reached on the third level at Grand Central Station. For just a moment I thought I was back on the second level. When he reached there, immediately he thought that he had reached there where on the second level. But I saw the room was smaller. But when he looked around, he saw that the room was smaller. Not only that, there were fewer ticket windows and train gates. There were a small number of ticket windows and train gates compared to the second level. And also, the information booth in the center was good and odd looking. There was an information booth at the center, which was made up of wood and also old looking. And the man in the booth wore a green eye shade. A man was sitting there on the booth, and he wore what? A green eye shade. A green eye shade. Eye shade means a visor worn over the eyes to protect the eyes from the light. So nowadays we wear the spectacles. But you see that this man had worn what? A green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. Sleeve protectors, that means a garment worn on forearms and arm. And he was wearing what? Yes, sleeve protectors and also then green eye shade. This type of dressing we could see in 1890s. In modern era, we were not able to see these types of style and dressing. The lights were dim and sort of flickering. Flickering means not steady, moving. And the lights on that small room was, what was that? It was flickering and it was not steady. So, and not only that, the lights were dim, and the lights were flickering. Then I saw why. He thought, what is the reason for this movement? Why these lights were not steady? Then he looked and saw that they were using an old style lights, or we can say the open flame gas lights. I saw they were open flame gas lights. These open flame gas lights are not used in this 20th century. There were brass spittoons on the floor, and another thing he noticed there was the brass spittoons. Spittoons means pot for spitting. So spittoons made up of brass, which were kept on the floor. And across the station, a glint of light caught my eye. And across the station, a glint of a shine of a ray of light caught his eye. And there he saw a man who was pulling gold watch from his vest pocket. He was taking out hastily or quickly a gold watch from his vest pocket. Vest pocket means undergarment pocket. You see that? That time the people were keeping watch on their pocket. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch. So it was wrapped in maybe some papers. He opened the cover immediately and looked at the watch, and you see that time he had a frown expression. That means he was somewhat disappointed, or he had shown a kind of disapproval on his face. He was, after looking at the watch, he was irritated, he was angry. He wore a derby hat. Derby hat, it's a kind of hat, you can see that is round and hard with a narrow brim, and a kind of hat that he was wearing. Yes, that is derby hat, a black 4-button suit, and also a suit which had got 4 buttons and with tiny lapels. Lapels means foldings. The side of the coat which has got the foldings. So the foldings of the coat that was very small. So he was wearing what? A 4-button suit and also with the tiny lapels. And he had a big black handlebar mustache. Handlebar mustache, that means a mustache looking like the handlebar, having the turns, or we can say which had got the curved ends. So the man had a very thick black as well as the mustache like that of handlebar. You can see like mine. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 1890 something. Then he noticed that all the people on that station were dressed like the people of 1890s. I never saw so many birds. So Charlie says he had never seen so many beards as well as sideburns. Side means a strip of hair, you see that, grown by a man on either side of the face. And fancy mustaches. Fancy means stylish mustaches in my life. That means he had not seen such a type of stylish mustaches or sideburns and different birds in his life. A woman walked in through the train gate. There he saw a woman. She walked through the train gate, and just behind that, what was there? An engine was there. She wore a dress with a leg of mutton sleeves. See what type of dress was she wearing? She was wearing a dress with a leg of mutton sleeves. Leg of mutton sleeves, that are just like that of Cinderella. That means a sleeve which is full and loose on the upper arm. But when it comes to down, it is very close fitting, like that of Cinderella. And skirts, and she was wearing a skirt also. To the top of that, what was there? A high buttoned shoes. Just back to that, back of her, out on the track, just back side of her, on the track, there was an engine. I caught a glimpse of, that means immediately he noticed a locomotive. A locomotive means a train engine that was lying on the track. A very small Carrier and Eaves locomotive. It was a very small engine manufactured by a US company known as Carrier and Eaves with a funnel shaped stack. And this engine had got what? A funnel which looked like a chimney. And then I understood that I am there where I was there in the 1890s. I was there on the 3rd level. To make sure, so he wanted to make sure whether he was there on 3rd level or not. So what did he do? I walked over to a newsboy. He approached a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. At his feet, a stack of paper, that means a heap of papers were there. Means there were so many papers, lot of papers lying on the ground. He looked at it. It was the world. See, the newspaper titled The World. But you see, the world has not been published for years. But this newspaper had not been published for so many years. From that, it was sure to him that he was there where in 1890s. The lead story said something about President Cleveland. The lead story, that is the main article of the newspaper, it said something about President Cleveland. President Cleveland, he was the 22nd and 24th President of America. And that means in 1885 and 1893, he became the President of America. So the lead story, the main article that was about this President, Cleveland, I have found that front page since in the public library files. So Charlie remembered, he had seen this front page where in the public library, and that was published or that was printed in which date? June 11, 1894. So it was sure to him that he had gone to past. He had reached there where in the 1890s. Dear students, I hope all of you understood this part. We will discuss the last part of the story in the next video. Please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Thank you.